Mark White, GB News' Home and Security editor, joins us. Dozens and dozens of officers now involved in this hunt. Any developments yet, Mark? I mean, we're over 2 days on now, aren't we?
Yeah, 150 officers from the Met involved in this, and there were more overnight, actually, who joined in the search of Richmond Park, an area close to where the route of that lorry that left Wandsworth Prison with Daniel Khalife strapped to the underside of it passed. So you can understand why perhaps the police felt they wanted to search this vast area, 2,500 acres. We had the helicopter up overnight. For those on television, you can see the pictures there of the track from the radar of that police helicopter.
It's been busy.
Round in circles. Looks like a plate of spaghetti, doesn't it? Over Richmond Park. With heat-seeking cameras on board, ground police officers there as well. Our producer, Tom Fredericks, was there this morning.
These are our exclusive pictures.
Early on, yes, got these exclusive pictures of the police operation using that quad vehicle, it looks like, as well as just normal police vehicles. That search has been stood down with nothing found. And I think, to me, it signals, actually, the fact that they went for this massive search in the park, that really the trail has kind of gone cold for them.
Yeah,
this search wasn't on specific intelligence. It was part and parcel of a systematic search of the route that's not just taking place in the park there, although that was an open space, and it was certainly a big search operation, but they're doing it all along the route. Buildings, buses are being looked at for their CCTV.
And then further afield, we've got delays yet again at the Channel ports. We had, of course, the M20 closed for a while the freight lorries were checked. I mean, one assumes it would be a natural suspicion that he's trying to get away from the country and get abroad. Yeah, I mean, these pictures are awful. You know, if you are out there in 30-plus degree heat, it's, you know, it is not fun. But we're told that the delays, especially down to the Channel, are probably going to be there throughout the weekend because they don't know at what time someone might, if they are minded to do that, try to spirit him out of the country. So are they checking vehicles, do we know, like the freight traffic? Absolutely, and there has been, we're told, a police drone up over Dover as well, looking at vehicles, trying to pick out anything that might be a likely target to search. But, of course, it could be any of these vehicles. I mean, the thing is, if he's leaving now, there's no way that they would actually take him through a passport control at any airport or port. So it's going to be freight traffic, and freight traffic is really at the ports in terms of those going on ferries or indeed the likes of the Channel Tunnel. So in the backs of lorries, in vans, in the boot of a car, whatever it might be, all that's going to have to be checked.
What do we know now about the growing suspicion that this was an inside job? A huge element of pre-planning as well.
Well, certainly pre-planned. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner, speaking this morning, said that, of course, it was pre-planned. You can't just organise this with the straps and everything like that. So, but the pre-planning could have been him. You know, he could have done most of the pre-planning of the escape himself. But I think on the outside, it's becoming increasingly clear that there must have been other people that were able to take him, get him out of the area. But they are clearly, the Met Commissioner said, going to look at whether other prisoners might have been involved in aiding his escape, whether prison officers might have been involved. He wouldn't go into details about where the straps came from, but we know that Daniel Khalife, as part of his job, would load and unload these trucks that came into the kitchen. And, of course, anybody that has seen delivery trucks with these big pallets, they're all held down by strapping, and the lorries often have other loose strapping in the back. Although there was one suggestion it may have been from the plastic covering of his mattress. I mean, either way, it's pretty, ingenious in the way he's got out. One thing that's been interesting in that they came up very quickly with the CCTV pictures of the delivery truck. No images of someone looking like him or appearing to look like him. And when we see these television programmes where they scour all the cameras, do you think those images are there and they're sitting on them, or would they have got those out pretty quickly? So it's very possible that they're sitting on the images. If they have for instance, been able to determine that Daniel Khalife got off at a certain point and maybe got onto a certain vehicle or went through a building or something like that, they might feel that it's more evidentially advantageous or operationally advantageous for them to just not release that information while they pursue those leads. You know that if in a day or so's time we suddenly get CCTV of him, of a vehicle he might have gone into, that's because the police have, pursued that particular avenue. They haven't got anywhere with it. So then it's the media and it's the public who can help them in that endeavour.
And he was, when he escaped, in a so-called chef's uniform, which would have bbeen quite noticeable, although the likelihood is if he had help on the outside, he would have changed quickly.
Yeah, you say that. I mean, I think if he was in, the sort of that cartoonesque type prison lags uniform, he would have been
with the arrows
noticeable.
on it, yeah.
But actually a chef's uniform wandering around in London, you'd just think he'd come from a pub or a restaurant or whatever on duty. I've often seen, people going about wearing, chef's garb.
The early hours of the morning in West London, but that's...
It might not be
another story.
It might not be as out of place as you think, is really what I'm saying.
OK.